All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it, as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's not crackle and pop. Some of these ads are like just annoying. Blue Vandal, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. Kimberly, thank you for the 5x5. Mitch, Alcohol, Raccoon, Base, Flown Grown, Prep to Adapt. Edley, thank you for 5x5. First and last, Brian, Evolver Media, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. All Swimming, Groundhog, Bad Botter, thank you for the 5x5. Trapper Bob, Dobie, Water Tackle. Michelle, Krista, Toto, Kathy, thank you for the 5x5. CJ, Laura, Standalone, Mary, thank you for the 5x5. Eric, Props, Shady, Logan, Maria, Brooklyn, thank you for the 5x5. Sue, thank you for the 5x5. Edmund, Weather People. Weather People? All right, yeah, thank you for the 5x5. Blaze, Northern Hillbilly, Meow, Trail Name, thank you for the 5x5. Yvonne, thank you for the 5x5. Lewis, thank you for the 5x5. Jerry, My Skydive, what's going on? Jerry, thank you for the 5x5. Sarah said, made it. Uh, Mississippi Golf, the Watchman, thank you for the 5x5. Bucky, thank you for the 5x5. Anchovies. Nope, no dice. Anyway, this is going to be a fairly short live stream, probably about 15 minutes or so. I got some things to do. I am extremely tired, but I got editing, photo editing, the whole nine yards, you name it, whatever. I really have to snap out of this rut that I'm in. Like fighting every day to get out of this rut sucks. It's like fighting for your life. Sometimes it just gets old and tired. 9/11 truthers are hardcore. Yeah, yeah. Minor, maybe a tinfoil hat. It's not a bad idea because again, everything that they're doing is out in the open, right? Um, Meow said the AI videos in the beginning are so dumb. I don't like some of them either, but I think some people are entertained by them. Some of them I'm entertained by, like the one on the angry prepper. That was entertaining. Some of them are dumb. Whatever. Deal with it. Don't deal with it. Don't care. So, guys, there is an elite unit that's more dangerous than, in my opinion, I think it's more dangerous than special forces, right? So these are not special forces guys. I do not understand how this was even allowed. Listen, any other person in the military world, a lot of them took issues with what happened last year. The problem is, I spoke about this last year around the time it happened, but there's more to this problem than ever before, right? So the problem, guys, is that they made a unit called Detachment 201. So the Detachment Unit 201 is also known as the Executive Innovation Corps. It's inside the United States Army Reserve, a group formed of United States technology executives directly commissioned to the rank of lieutenant colonel. That means they didn't go through any kind of basic training. They went right to lieutenant colonel status. And obviously, to get to lieutenant colonel status, guys, to become an officer, you got to go to OCS. To go to OCS, you have to have some college. If I'm not mistaken, you do not become a lieutenant colonel right away. I think you become a lieutenant, right? And then you work your way up the rank. Anyway, so these nerds who've never seen combat, didn't do any kind of training, became part of a unit called Detachment 201. Now, Detachment 201 works specifically within the United States government, but this is where it gets dangerous. This is where a lot of people don't realize how dangerous this really is. People sort of just they shrugged it off. Six strings, yes, like Event 201. Interestingly enough, they're calling it Detachment 201. Anyway, let's see. The Army's state purpose of the initiative is to fuse cutting edge technology experts with military innovations by recruiting senior tech executives to serve part time in the Army Reserve as senior advisors. A statement by now they could have also done this at a civilian level, which they have done for decades. They've had civilians not so much outrank, but they were the authority of whatever military unit. So if they brought in a guy like what's his name, Tom Brown, if I'm not mistaken, the famous tracker, he outranked anybody anytime he gave a sport. He outranked colonels. They didn't make him a lieutenant colonel. They were like, this man here is going to teach you how to survive. Shut the fuck up, and whatever he says goes. That's it. They could have did the same with these guys, but instead they put them in the military with rank. That's dangerous. And the fact that no one else had a problem with this, I'm pretty sure there were military generals that had a problem with this, but no one said anything. Now, again, this was done under Trump. I'm surprised that a lot of military generals didn't say, and maybe some military generals did say, some, because there was a lot of movement of military generals last year around this time. Actually, around the same time. This happened in June. There were military generals that were relieved of their positions in July because they had issues with this. Anyway, a statement by the United States Army made on social media said that the group will work on target projects to help guide rapid and scalable tech solutions to complex problems in order to make the force leaner, smarter, and more lethal. The initial group of executives sworn into position June 13, 2025 includes Facebook parent company Meta Platform CTO Andrew Bosworth, current and former Open, what the hell does that mean? Current and former OpenAI executive Kevin Whale, Bob McGraw. Oh, sorry. Both of them were former and current executives of OpenAI, which is Kevin Whale, who was a former, and Bob McGrew, which is current, and Planeteer Technology CTO Shyam Sankar. All right, so these are the men that were made lieutenant colonels out of the gate, right? Here's the problem. They're working on a system. Now, as of right now, somebody made this comment that they are gauging or scoring us as we speak. And the scoring system is ongoing right now. So as I'm talking, my scoring system must be like negative 1,000. And everybody else's scoring system is based on the things you do on social media, the things you do throughout life, what you buy, your health, the whole 9 yards. I'm going to go into the list of this, but it's called a trust score. Now, the trust score is not the official term, but this is sort of like the person, she made a comparison to Sims. I never really played that game. But you have this red arrow over your home. And your home has a scoring system based on the people who live in there, the dumb shit people do on social media, including myself. And all of this is put into what they call a trust score. And the trust score is now going to label you useless, purposeless, middle of the road, which I'm not sure what that would be, or domestic terrorist, or patriot, excuse me, that was the other one, or patriot. So now you're scored on this system based on everything you say and do. Based on everything you say and do, according to that administration, or whether that administration at that time likes what you're saying and what you're doing. All right. So now, being labeled a domestic terrorist, guys, will be dependent, on your trust score. Being labeled useless to society or useful to society is again dependent on your trust score, right? So depending on your job status, how much you get paid, your relationship status, your marital status, your political ideology, how much you express your political ideology. This is all the nuances that build your trust scores. Shopping behavior, how much you spend, whether or not you're willing to save, health related interests, whether you're a fitness guru, whether you're just a fat bag of shit. Emotional state, meaning a psychological state. Are you a psych patient or are you of sound mind? Now, obviously, if I talk about lizard people, I no longer sound of sound mind. Pregnancy likelihood. Can you contribute to society with pregnancy, or are you a detriment to society because you can get pregnant so easy? Behavioral status on social media, behavioral status in society. This this is everything that they're compiling about you and your household. Now, they're going to use an AI-based behavioral system, obviously, to thumb through all of this stuff, right? And then whatever you do, they compile everything for every human that's in the United States. I think right now this is just inside the United States. I don't think this is anywhere else. Well, this is also in China, excuse me. But China's system is a little more complex than the one that we're creating here in the United States. And we are undoubtedly probably going to merge the two. The whole ideology, guys, that the United States and China don't get along, I think is bullshit. I think they're going to work hand in hand to develop a system to monitor all humans on this planet, or at the very least, all humans that live within inside a city limits. Now, for a lot of people who don't live in cities, they live in small towns, or they live out in rural areas, or they're just reserved or resigned, excuse me, to living out in the dirt, the bush, if you will, right? If you live in Australia, you live in the outback. If you're in Africa, you live in the bush. People that live in Asian countries, they live in the jungle. They don't want anything to do with cities. They're going to force all of these people to live in the city, come hella high water. I mean, they're going to try their hardest to. They're going to pollute the land, taint the land, destroy animals, give animals diseases and bacteria that slowly kill them. We're going to start seeing funguses pop up all over the world, affecting a lot of these animals that we do eat because they want to keep us from living out on our own and being all within inside the system. Now, a lot of this stuff, guys, can you look this up? You can. You have to dig really deep. You will find it. Um, you know, Again, the trust score system, there are different names for it, but someone referred to it as a trust score, and I'm like, that makes sense. And again, it's upon your household. Now, your household trust score, let's just say, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but let's say 100 is as high as you can go. Well, if you and your kids are playing by the rules and playing by the system, your trust score will hover around 90 to 100. Depending on how many times you argue and fight with your wife or your significant other, that also plays a role as well. That plays in the behavioral issues, right? So every time you and your wife argue, or the less likely you guys argue, stay between 90 and 100. But if you guys argue all the time, it could dip into the 80s, right? So now you have a son. This asshole's fucking smoking weed online, right? And this jerk off is smoking weed online and rapping like a moron, and you're looking at him like that kid is stupid. But anyway, you're looking at him like that's dumb, but he's a kid. He's going to grow out of it. But the trust score system sees that your son is acting as a fool, doing dumb shit online, pranking people, shit like that. That brings your trust score now into the 70s. Meanwhile, your daughter is an angel. She's doing the right thing. She's not posting much on social media, which can also be a detriment to your trust score. Get into that in a little bit. But she's not posting on social media as much, but her school grades are great. Her behavior is awesome. She's a goody two shoe for the most part. And she's keeping your trust score in the 70 and not dropping it low. Now, not posting enough can also affect your trust score, again, according to this theory of stuff that's coming out. And they've said that before, that not posting enough because you're not participating in society. And if you don't participate in society and the trend that society is doing, that can also affect your trust score. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now, not participating is not probably going to affect your trust score that much, but it will probably affect it just enough where your individual trust score from 100 might drop down to like 95 because you're not partaking in social media, right? And I don't think they're ever going to achieve 100. And then they're going to start saying, all right, everybody's doing the trust scores that they're doing. Let's make it interesting. Let's give people goals to get to certain numbers. And then they'll start giving you like extra Amazon gift cards because the Amazon's going to be the new cash, or stable coin. They're going to have you try to get to 80. And if you get to 80, you'll get a $25, Amazon gift card, shit like that. Again, what you call it? This is all theory. Now, the trust score thing is not theory. The added behavioral issues that I'm adding in there, that's theory. I'm just spitballing because they talked about behavioral issues or the behavior of your person on the internet or in your home with the trust scores. So I'm elaborating more on behavioral concept, if you will, because I think that they're going to base a lot of that. If you're a psych patient and you're on medication, well, your trust score is probably always going to be in the 50s and 40s because psych patients never get better. Never get better. Why do you get to make me act like a fool? Yeah, so anyway, that's basically how the trust score is going to work. They're probably going to call it something else. I don't know what they're going to call it, but the lady put it as a trust score, and I'm like, that makes sense. And again, this is this nonsense that they're looking to push. I'll take an Amazon gift. Amazon gift cards are cool when you get one. You're like, oh man, this is awesome, But I try not to shop on there much, man. I try to go to the store if I can. But when it comes to like photography shit or something I need tomorrow, that's what I use Amazon. But anyway, also, side note, I talked about this before. Amazon is also allowing AI to scan every photo you put into the Amazon photo cloud storage. Do not put your photos in anybody's cloud storage. Do not put your photo in Amazon cloud storage specifically. About 2 years ago, there was a guy asking for access to photo banks, and he wanted AI to learn the human face, the nuances and stuff. This was about a year or two ago, not a year, 2 3 years ago, excuse me. And he needed access to all pictures. Well, on Amazon, they started their Amazon photo cloud storage thing a year or two ago, but a lot of people are not uploading to it. But now, recently, with AI data centers being built, with them wanting to teach AI faster, they're giving people access. Excuse me, they're giving companies access to AI photos of yourself, your family, and the whole 9 yards. So yeah, keep abreast of that. Don't put your do not put any photos in the Amazon uh, cloud storage thing. Don't even put it in Apple for that matter. Try to keep all your shit on a disk drive. Right, this is a hard drive I have. I'll put all my photos on this. Then they don't have access to it. This is like the new photo album, with the exception of, remember, a photo album, it was in a book and it was just there and you had access to it anytime. The problem with this stuff is that technology advances and then this becomes obsolete and then you can't access your photos from here. So there is also that problem. Again, keep that in the back of your head. Who's tiny? Someone said, "Who's tiny?" The tiny hats. Tiny is always watching. Tiny hats, Sarah Pack. The Jews are always watching. So anyway, guys, they're monitoring your existence. And they're monitoring your existence to keep you in line. This is probably a better way to keep more humans in line. And if you can stay consecutively at between 90 and 100, let's just say that, right? If you can stay consecutively in that realm for 30 days, you get a $30 gift card. If you can stay there for 60 days, you get a $60 gift. You see where this is going, right? And they have these systems already set up training us in a way, except for I'm onto their bullshit, so I don't accept a lot of that. But for example, if you're on Reddit, they have scoring systems on it, right? If you log on every day, you get like this badge. If you log on for 300 days, you get this badge. And Apple Fitness, if you walk, 10,000 steps a day, you get this badge. So they're training us to get there, except for when it comes to this trust score system shit, I want no part of it. I'm probably going to be in the 40s if I even want to be a part of the program. For a lot of us old school people, we are not going to be in this program. At least I don't think so. They're going to be rolling this out over the next few years. You're going to opt in as a voluntary thing, and then they're going to force a lot of people into it. A lot of us are not going to. A lot of us are not going to, what you call it, partake in that. Tiny from the cartoon, and then Snapchat said Jews. Yeah, we call them tiny hats. Some people call them small hats, whatever you want to call them. But no one really gives a fuck anymore. Trinkets and shekels. Yes, Slim Shady, they will. They'll get a lot of people that way. They're like, oh man, I can get a free ticket to a Beyonce concert. Well, Beyonce will be old and crippled by then. Or whatever new pop star out then, they're going to give you free tickets. If you could stay a year in 100, you'll get to see a free concert of fucking Slim Shady. Slim Shady will be in a wheelchair by then. But you get my point? They're definitely going to get you into this system, and they're going to have you take part of this whole trust system. Then the trust system is going to do something dangerous. Then the trust system is going to attach to your bank account, and if your trust system is not on par or not on level, um, it will it will then start deducting from your bank account when you start doing things the trust system score doesn't like. The trust scores don't like. Excuse me. It will. Sorry. And that's going to be where the dark turn happens. The dark turn happens when they start dipping into your bank account, when they start withholding your paychecks. That's when it's going to start being a bad time. So that, guys, is where the dark turn is. It's right now. It's going to be fun. It's going to be news. You're going to get the gift prizes and shit, and then they're going to attach it. Then they're going to do something like, "Oh, for that offense, Mr. Angry Pepper, we're going to take $25 directly from your bank account." That's why I want no part of this system. Then they really control you, right? Then they control you. Now, you like they'll tell you, for example, in the trust score system, "Oh, you're on deck to getting a $25 gift card." Then your trust score drops below 90 and it's 89. Oh, you're in the race for losing your $25 gift card. Shit like that. They're gonna try to keep you in check with money. Then they're gonna start taking money from you. Now, the tiny hats, if you will, they're going to be the people who are going to be in charge of the system, and they are never going to be a part of this trust score system. At first glance, they will. They'll all have like 90s, 95s, and 100s, and they'll never drop no matter what they do. No matter the vile shit they say about humans, about Americans, about blacks, because yes, the tiny hats are racist. No matter what they say, they're going to stay away. They're going to keep their trust score system at that level, and it'll never be touched. That's just how it is. The rest of us, the rest of you guys are going to have to work hard keeping your trust score above board. But I want no part of that shenanigans. Anyway, guys, outside of that, I'm going to go off the air. I have to do a couple things tonight. I got to get to it. So I will see some of you guys tomorrow morning in the Angry Truths channel's midweek report. And other than that, guys, have a good night. Thank you.